What's up, guys? If you're new here, firstly, I would like to say welcome to the channel and welcome to the ultimate dolphin emulator setup. So, what this video is going to cover is just going to cover the initial setup. That includes setting up both the GameCube and Wii controls using OLEM, uh, which is an actual factory Wii remote to play your Wii games, and all of the extra bits and bobs like setting up retro achievements and uh, playing online with your friends. It's going to cover everything. So this video is going to be a bit longer, but hopefully by the end of this video, you will know how to set up everything there is to know about Dolphin. So sit back, relax, or get ready to follow along, and let's dive straight into this. The first thing we're going to set up, so it's out of the way, is going to be your controls. So click up here on the controller icon, and you'll be brought to this screen. Now, I already have my controller set up just to save some time. But what you're going to do is you're going to click on this drop down. Whatever controller you're trying to use, you can find it in here, so long as it's supported, that is. So if you're using a typical like Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller for the GameCube side, then you want to go to standard controller. And if you have a GameCube adapter that lets you use OLEM GameCube controllers, then you can choose this one right here. Now, in the past, I'm not sure if this is still an issue now, but in the past, when the Wii U was still relevant, uh, this option only worked with official GameCube adapters. So my suggestion is try it out and see if it works. If it works, awesome. If not, I am so sorry. um, well, I will also show you how to set these up as well. At least one of them, because I think only one is needed. And then this one, I'm not exactly sure what this one is for. I'm gonna have to look into this one, honestly. Also, we have a new addition with this version of Dolphin as well, which is the Triforce baseboard, which I think is for like the dancing arcade games. I'm not 100% sure, but for now, we're just gonna select standard controller, and then you want to hit configure, and in here is where you're gonna set up everything. So like I said, my controller is already mapped. Where's my controller? Here it is. So if I move my stick, as you can see, it is moving. Better example would be over here. So it is mapped. What you're gonna do though is you're gonna go up here to the top left and click this drop down menu. And depending on how many controllers you got connected to your computer, they will all show up here. Some of them may show up twice, like mine does. So my suggestion is before you like heavily start mapping, figure out which one has the correct labels. And then once you figure that out, then you can go from there. Because this one right here, it will still work, but the labels will be like numbered, whereas this one has the actual name of the button. Um, Over here, if you want vibration, you come over here, click this, and again, depending on the controller, you may have just one option, you may have two. But mine, for some reason, even though it doesn't have half of these options, uh, they are still listed. So I'm gonna show you guys how to set up Rumble. It's actually pretty simple. I remember my first time looking at this screen and I'm like, how the heck do I set this up? But now I know and I can show you guys. So first off, just like before, you want to make sure your controller is set up at the top. But depending on the controller, again, which this one will be typical of an Xbox Series controller. So if you're using that one, then I'm gonna do the two main ones, and then you can follow suit from there if you want like everything to rumble. So what you're gonna do is click on the one that you want to add first. Click Insert Output. Oh, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Once you click Insert Output, it'll show up in this text window down here. Then you want to come down here. Which one is it? Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Come down here to where it says operators, and you want to click on the one that says or, and that'll put like a little line in between setting it setting up I can't even talk right now. Setting it up for the next one. And then you want to go down here, select this one, insert output, and there you go. You now have Rumble set up for your controller. And then if you want to make sure it actually works, because sometimes it'll show up and it don't actually work. You can hit test output, and if your controller vibrates, then you're good to go, which mine does. So we are good to go. And then you can close this off. One other thing, and this is actually very important. When you get over to this part right here, where you're setting up the L and R triggers, make sure, and I cannot stress this enough, make sure if you want analog support that you're using a controller that has analog triggers. So if you're using a Switch Pro controller, that's not going to work. Some games actually require that you have the analog support. So, uh, Metroid, Metroid Prime over here is one of those games that heavily relies on analog triggers. Super Mario Sunshine, another one that relies on analog triggers. So, you see how I have mine set up right here? You need to set yours up the exact same way. So therefore, when you start putting pressure on the triggers, like so, they'll slowly start filling up. That's analog. Whereas without the analog, it would just fill up immediately. So I just need to get that point across because you can make it where a game is pretty unplayable, especially this one, because this one, there's a tutorial at the beginning that kind of makes you do that, which will make that part unpassable. Let's see. I do recommend if you have multiple controllers, you set up you set up profiles. Golly, can I talk today? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna name this one. I name it the name of my controller, and then hit save. And I'll show you where to find these profiles too. So if you need to set up another emulator, you can move that profile over, so you don't constantly have to set it up. But I do that a little bit later. But now you click the drop down menu, and now you have your profile right there. So whenever you're setting up multiple controllers, you can do that with ease. What does this do? Oh, okay, so that must be new. So apparently you can get to the profile folder from here now. You used to not be able to do that, so that must be a new addition that they added. So that's cool. In that case, I can show you right now. So if you click on open folder, this is your profile file. And so you can actually right click it, make a copy of it if you want, and then paste it in a safe area or stick it like on your iCloud or whatever, so you'll always have it. And then all you gotta do is go to the same directory on your a different version of the GameCube or the Dolphin emulator, and stick it in there, and there you go. Okay, and that is pretty much how you set up your GameCube controller. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move over to the Wii side of the controller. So I'm going to close this out, go past all of this. This has no importance in between the Wii and the GameCube. This has no significance. We don't need to change anything on this part. The only part that matters is this part down here where you're setting up the controllers. So, as of right now, I have mine set up to where I can use my official Wii controller or my real Wii remote. I need to test if it will work on third-party Wii remotes. It should, but in the past it didn't. But if you want to use a controller for your Wii games, like say for example you're only planning on playing certain Wii games that have either GameCube or uh Wii Classic controller support, then you can click this one and you can set it up in there. So I'm gonna set it for that real quick, and we're gonna go to configure. And this, I'm going to tell you right now, is probably one of the most difficult controller setups to deal with if you're using a normal console controller. It is possible, like people have devised like various different setups for controller use, but at the end of the day, it's really up to you on how you want to set it up. And it also depends if you come down here and you set it was either upright or sideways. Which is what these two checkboxes are for. Now, if you're looking to use the Wii Classic controller, you can come over here where it says extension. Click on that, and by default, it will probably be set to nunchuck. But if you click on classic controller, you can then go to this section right here and set up the classic controller and not even worry about the whole Wii side of it. But as you can see, it also has other uh controller support for it as well. So it's got the nunchuck, the classic controller, guitar, um, a drum kit, DJ turntable. Oh, that's gonna be interesting to set up. I'm not gonna lie. Um, use all game tablet. I've never actually seen that accessory. Draw some tablet, taco drum, and whatever the heck this one is. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that one. So you got a couple of different options for that one as well. Now, me personally, I haven't found a preferred layout for the Wii games, but here's honestly, this might be just a tad bit overkill, but what I personally would do, and this might become a little bit of a problem depending on uh your use case, but what I would do is I would set it up for a game that I'm planning to play, and then set up a profile for that game. So, uh, say for example, new Super Mario Bros. Um, I would set it up for that, make a profile, and therefore I'll have that profile for that particular game. And then obviously, if you're using multiple controllers, um, you might have to do something a little bit different. I'm not exactly sure on that one. Like I said, it's kind of difficult to set up with the normal controller. But that's where the real one comes in handy. So if you come down here and you click real Wii remote, you're you're basically ready to use a Wii remote. Then you just come down here and you check this box that says uh continuous scanning, and then you hit the sync button on your Wii remote. If you do have a Wii console or a Wii U console, make sure it's like in another room or unplugged so it doesn't turn it on. But yeah, you would check this box and then hit the sync button on your Wii remote, and after a few seconds, Dolphin will detect it, and then you can use it as a actual controller for the emulator. It's actually pretty cool. I like it. I've noticed that they've gotten rid of something that used to be down here at the bottom, which honestly is a good thing because that thing never really did work. Unless this is it. Let me see. Oh no. Hey yo, do they have Joy-Con like proper? Do they have proper Joy-Con support now? Here I am making an ultimate guide, and I'm still finding out new stuff about this. I'm not even gonna lie. Okay, if that's the case, that's awesome. Which, in that case, if that is the case, that means that you can literally use a Switch controller, specifically the Joy-Cons, as your alternative to a Wii remote, and that is awesome. That is so awesome. I am so happy to see that. I am not even kidding. Alternative input sources. Not exactly sure what this is for, but it's there. But yeah, there used to be one that used like kind of something similar to like an IP code to get certain controllers to work with this. It's no longer here, which is fine, but you know, I just now noticed that it was missing. Now, I have my controller. I have my actual Wii controller here. So I'm gonna turn on my camera so I can show you guys real quick. Okay, I know it's a bit big right now, but it's okay. So this controller right here is an official Wii remote. And how you can tell that it's official is because it actually has, if I can get it in frame, it actually has the Wii logo on it. And I'm pretty sure there is something else on it that lets you know that it's official too. Is it on the lid? No, it's not. Okay. Anyway, this is what we're gonna use. And then I also have this, the nunchuck that goes with it. So if I'm playing a game that requires this, I'm already good. Now, I did order, or not I didn't order it yet, but I do have a classic controller in my wish list. So what was I gonna say? Once I order that, then I'll really be good to go. And oh yeah, I need to turn that camera back on. Duh. I am so sorry, guys. Okay, um, so again, here is my uh Wii controller, and what we're gonna do is this one is one of the original Wii controllers. So the sync button is like underneath the battery cover. So I'm gonna press that button in there, and the lights will start flashing. And when it connects, it'll vibrate, and one of the lights will stay on. Sorry, something was in my eye. One of the lights will stay on, and that's how you know it's like fully connected now. And to show you that it actually works, I will boot up a game real quick, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled tutorial. Okay, so a bit of extra footage because I realized this in the process of making the video that I forgot to mention the sensor bar when I was showing the Wii controller working. So um, if you if you want to be able to use the pointer and everything for the Wii games, it is required that you get a sensor bar. Either uh, use the one from your Wii, or go on Amazon and purchase yourself a USB sensor bar, which is the one that I have, and make sure it's plugged into a power source because you need to make sure that it's on for it to work, obviously. So if I go to, let's say, a Wii game, it don't even matter which one. Okay, so this one isn't too bad because it lets you use the D-pad to navigate. But if you wanted to use the pointer as intended, like this, you need to have the sensor bar plugged in and working. So I just thought I would add this little tidbit in because I forgot to mention it earlier when I was setting up the Wii controller. So I do apologize for that. Back to your regularly scheduled tutorial. So I'm going to turn off the camera. We can close out this controller menu now. And then, let's see. I'm going to have to do kind of like a non-Nintendo game because Nintendo's been a little bit iffy lately. Oh, that's a GameCube game. You know what? Screw it. It's only going to be a few seconds of gameplay anyway, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Where is that is? As you can see, it actually works. Now you can also set this up. You can also set this up to where the sound comes out of the speaker, just like you would if you was if it was on the actual Wii. But mine kind of sounds like a dying animal, so I always choose to turn that off. Now, technically speaking, I probably could go in and like replace the speaker, but I do want to get like a third party Wii remote and see if it works on here for you guys. So I will be working on that at some point. But with that, that is the controller setup. Okay, so we got the emulator up and running. We got our controller set up, but now we gotta add the games. So I cannot show you where to get games from. I can tell you, however, if you have a library of Wii games, it is actually pretty easy to dump your own games, especially if you have a modded Wii. Um, but if you're going the other route, all I'm gonna say is Google is your friend. Google, Bing, or any other search engine is your friend. Now, to get this list of games to show up, you're gonna want to click on config, go to where it says paths, and then in here is going to be your path, or all of your where all of your paths to your games are gonna go. So let me delete this one. I will show you how how we're gonna set this up. So as you can see, now I have none of my games, okay? So configure, path, and then what you're gonna do is before you start adding your paths to where your games are, make sure you have this box checked. Uh, search subfolders. And basically, if you have yours set up kind of like how I have mine, where I have my Wii games and GameCube games separated, then you're going to want to have this checked. So then you're going to click on Add. Then you're going to navigate to where your games are, which mine is on a flash drive that I have. There they are. And see, I have mine separated. So when I just hit select folder from right here, and then it'll start adding all of the games. Now, to get Dolphin like how mine's look, there's one thing you want to do first before you close this menu. Go to interface. Make sure you have this one checked where it says download game cover. Download game covers. Make sure that is checked. And then by default, yours will look like this. Which this is fine and dandy, but if you want it to look a little bit nicer, just click up here on view. Whoops. Stop that. View. And then set to grid view. And then once all of your cover art is done loading in, then you'll get what you see here. And that's pretty much it. Now you have your games, and we can proceed to the next step. Okay. So you have your games added now. What's next? Well, before you actually start playing your games, which if you do decide to just go ahead and start playing your games, that's fine. But if you want to make them look a little bit better, then you might want to pay attention to this next step. So, how it used to be is you could go into the graphics tab here and uh set up your settings that way. And that's all fine and dandy. But what I have personally learned is not all games are going to run the same depending on what graphics settings that you have set globally. So, here's what I recommend. For the game that you're about to play, let's take this game right here, for example. Let's say I want to play this game. Right click it, click on properties. You'll get brought to this window right here. And in here, you'll have like various different options uh, for this game only. So you want to click on game config, graphics, and then right here is where you can change all of your settings for this specific game. So let's say I want this on Vulkan. You can choose your graphics card if you have multiple, which I don't know why my graphics card is showing up twice, but anyway. You can choose if you want it 16 by 9 or 4 by 3. Keep in mind, if you have it set to either one of these, uh, if it's 16 by 9, it'll look stretched, especially if the game doesn't support 16 by 9. But I'm gonna show you how to get around that as well. So just stay tuned for that. Everything else in here you can leave at default if you like. Now, if you want things to render a little bit better, aka reduce like any stuttering, then you can set it for this one right here. And if you have a high-end computer, then you can set it for this one right here. My recommendation is just keep it in on this one because it still does a decent job. This one, in my opinion, is a little bit overkill, but you can also check this little box down here to where it compiles all of the shaders before the game launches. Yes, it'll add a few seconds to the load time, but it'll also help with the stuttering as well. Um, if you want your game to be in full screen every time you launch one, check this box right here. If it will let me check it, thank you. That text box was getting in the way. Um, VSync, you shouldn't have to use, but if you see any screen tearing or anything like that, go ahead and check this box and it should fix it. Now, if we go to enhancements, this is going to be completely up to you on how you want your game to look. Okay. So, and this is also going to affect performance too, depending on the game. So, right now it's on the absolute lowest setting that you can choose. Now, I take mine all the way up to 1080p, but if you have a 4K monitor, you can go all the way up to 4K if you want. But again, keep in mind, some games may behave radically differently, radically different, depending on the resolution that you choose. So I'm gonna stick to 1080p. Uh, Anti-aliasing for me is grayed out, but you can also change that if you want. Um, Texture filtering, I usually go up to 16x or 8x, depending on how the game is acting. Um, Output resampling. This one I just leave on bilinear because that one works the best. I have not like messed with any of these to see how they work, but I just leave mine on bilinear. And then everything else I leave as is. Oh, um, if you do want your games in widescreen, there is a widescreen hack. Uh, what's the one I'm looking for? Toggle right here, checkbox. You can check this if you want it in 16:9. Uh, Keep in mind uh it will still look a little bit off because this doesn't always look the greatest. But other than that, once you are finished here, you are pretty much done. Hacks you should not mess with at all. Leave everything as is. And then advanced, the only thing in here that I would turn on is load custom textures. And the reason why I say that is because uh there are some really awesome HD texture packs for some of these games. And if this box is not checked, it will not work. Which, speaking of, I will actually show you guys how to apply these in this guide as well. Um, yeah, okay. So the custom texture one is the only one that you need to change in here. Uh, oh, yeah. And the enable graphics mods, you can enable that if you want. And I think once you enable that, what is it? This one will become available. I think. Well, it's supposed to anyway. Let me see. Configure. Oh, okay. So if you enable it, um, if you enable it on the game itself, it's not gonna work. You gotta enable it globally. So check that, check that, and there you go. Now you should be able to load graphics mods if the game has graphics mods. And then after you set up your graphics the way you want it, or your graphics settings the way you want it, then obviously launch the game. And that is the recommended way to load uh, your graphic settings. Now, if you don't really care, and like if you decide to just load up your graphic settings globally for all the games, and it works perfectly fine across all of your games, fine. That is fantastic. I am happy for you. But when you come across a game that seems to be acting weird, even though you know for a fact your computer should be able to run it just fine, uh, just go into the game settings itself, like how I just showed you, and tweak the settings from there until it runs like how you want it to. Now, one game before I end this segment, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, one game that I have personally played that does not, for some reason, under any circumstances, like to run at higher resolutions is uh Crash Tag Team Racing. I love this game. I really do. It is a fun game, but it can be a bit bratty sometimes. So let me show you real quick. I want to show you just so you guys can understand what you might run into. Okay, so got that set up. Okay, now let's run the game. And as you can see, it's loading up all of the shaders before it even starts, which is nice. Don't pay don't mind what's in the top left corner. I will get to that later. So the intros run pretty good. And then again, they might have fixed it by now, honestly. But we'll see. Oh, nope. It's still going to slow motion. It's still going to slow motion. Or is it? Let me put my headphones on so I can hear. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's still going to slow motion. So let me Oh, that's sped up a little bit. That was weird. Okay, so we're gonna go into a race. We're not gonna finish the race. We're just gonna start one real quick. Why does that gear arrangement look like it really like Mickey Mouse's head? Oh my. So it's not even gonna load. I think it froze. So yeah. Now watch what happens. Watch what happens when I reduce everything back to default. This one I think is fine. These two right here I think will be fine. And then let's run it again. Case, we're gonna put that back on default. This one. So with this one, I just thought about it. I don't think you guys can hear it. But now the sound sounds like it's supposed to. And it's actually going the proper speed. And if we do like we did before, look, it's actually loading now. You can see the gears spinning. And we actually got into the race this time. Last time it froze up completely. And I was not trying to do that particular command, but okay, there we go. All right. So yeah, that is why you want to pay attention to the settings that you use. Now, if you are unsure, what settings you should use, uh all of these games that have to do with Dolphin have a wiki page that you can use. So if you right click the problem game that you're having issues with, you're gonna see an option that says wiki. Click on that, and it'll take you to the wiki page, the Dolphin wiki page for this particular game. And then you can scroll down, and it's got a table of contents. And here's configuration right here. And all it says is that it does not need non-default settings to run correctly. So basically, what it's saying is don't change the graphic settings for it. That's helpful. Um, Normally, if a game is known to have a lot of issues, uh, it'll have like a couple of different options in this section. But this one, I guess you really can't upscale it. So yeah, let's see. I guess that is it for the graphics portion. Now, let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's it. That is all there is to know about the graphics portion. So, next section, we will be talking about how to set up the extra stuff. Okay, so this section is going to be dedicated to retro achievements. So, if you uh if you've already started playing your games, uh but you found out about retro achievements and you want to try it out, yeah, gonna have to start all over because I don't think it will detect that you've done everything. Um, so what I recommend is before if this is your first time setting up Dolphin, you don't gotta worry about it. But uh if you've been using Dolphin for a while and you have like hours on a particular game, um either don't worry about it or again, like I said, you can start over, especially if said game has multiple saves. So anyway, remember earlier when I said that uh I recommend that you go ahead and set you up uh a retro achievements account? Yeah, that there was a reason for that. There was a reason for that. Because now I'm gonna show you guys how to link it to your Dolphin. So as you can see, I'm already signed in as the indicator shows right here, and you can see my username right here. Um, so what you're gonna do, and I think mine's is already linked, but I will unlink it so I can show you guys how this works. You want to go to Tools, go all the way down to Achievements, click on that, and I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. So by default, you'll see this, and this will not be checked. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to check this box right here, enter in your username and then your password. Then hit login, and if you enter everything correctly, it'll sign in. You'll see your profile picture for retro achievements, and then you can start changing your settings. So let me explain a few things here. So hardcore hardcore mode makes it where save states are not allowed. You can also read the description here as well. If you want, you can pause it, zoom in, and read it if you like. But one of the major ones that a lot of people may not like is that it makes it where save states are not allowed. So you would basically be relying on the in-game saves and not the save states. Um, unofficial enable unofficial achievements basically gives you like additional achievements that aren't officially added to retro achievements, like not made by the retro achievement team. Um, Encore mode, I don't know what this entails, but I'm assuming it makes things a little bit harder for you. Uh, Enable spectator mode. I'm not exactly sure that what that means. I will look at this in editing. So uh I can put some captions here if I figure it out later. Let me go back to this one real quick. Again, you guys can, pause and read these if you want, so you guys can get some information. Okay. So, and then down here at the bottom, it's basically your notifications for when you get the achievements and stuff like that. So, uh you can either have these all checked or not. It's up to you. And that is it for the retro achievements. Then all you gotta do is just start playing your favorite game. And once you do something that is listed, it will let you know that you have gotten that achievement. Now, let's go back to the retro achievement website really quick. So in here, you can go to whichever category you're trying to see the achievements for. So for this example, we're gonna go to GameCube, and let's say I want to do cars. I do have that game. Actually, I don't think that game is supported. Okay, so that game is actually not supported. That's a bit of a bummer. I actually kind of like that game. Let's see. Let's go back to Dolphin real quick. Let's find another game. Let's do Baldur's Gate. Let's see if that one has achievements. Watch it not have achievements. That'll be just my luck. Oh, nope, it does. Awesome. So here you can click the game that you're trying to look for check the achievements for, and how I do is just go and you know do what it says. Like for example, this one says kill all the rats in the cellar. That one is an easy one, by the way. If you've never played that one, this one is a very easy achievement to do. And once you complete that task, it'll notify you that you got it. And then when you come back and check your profile, it'll say that you have that achievement. So my suggestion to you is to keep this somewhere where you can access this website easily. Like, say for example, in your shortcuts or in a specific folder where your bookmarks are, or something like that. Me, on the other hand, this is how I'm going to keep track of mine. Watch this. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go into my Stream Deck software. There we go. And then go to this page. Add this. Paste the URL in there. Unfortunately, it didn't do the icon, but I can deal with that later. And then I'm gonna just title it retro. And there you go. So that is now on there, so I can access it quickly. So if I close this page, and then hit that button that I just programmed, there you go. Retro achievements pulled up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's really nothing more to retro achievements at this point. I mean, it's literally just a achievement service. So yeah, that's the end of that segment. Okay, so you got your emulator all set up. You're really enjoying it, but you want to play with your friends, and your friends are nowhere close by to where they can come and hang out and play locally. This is where NetPlay comes in handy. Now, what is NetPlay? NetPlay is basically a free online service that allows you to play with other people across the internet, um, like relatively with little effort. So it's basically an online service for emulators, basically. So how do you go about using NetPlay? Well, I used
Well,
to know what the NetPlay
it's actually
option
pretty
was,
easy. So
but
all you
now
gotta do,
I'm not so sure. Yeah. Oh, duh! I overlooked it a couple of times. That's typical. That's typical of me. So you click on Start NetPlay, and you'll get a. Well, actually, hold on. So you go to Tools, right? And there's an option right there. It says Start NetPlay, and then what you want to determine if you want to use direct connection or traversal server, which I think if you use the direct connect, uh, I think that involves like your IP address and everything, and using a port number and stuff like that. Uh, but if you do traversal server, then what you can do is, first of all, put in your username, like so. You can leave it as player if you want, but just so people know who you are, put your username. And then you would input a code that your host has given you, and then you'll connect that way. Now, this is a little bit different. I am not going to lie. Let me see. Oh, okay. My apologies. Okay, so yeah, so this one is used for if you want to connect directly to the host uh using a code instead of an IP. Um and then this one obviously is for you to host. But we're going to close this out and we're going to go back to tools, and if you hit browse NetPlay server sessions, I was going to say servers. Um this is where you can find other people that are already playing. And a lot of these that are currently active have a password. And you can see what games they are playing, which is kind of cool, not gonna lie. And you can see what version that they're on. You can see how many players are in each session. And then if you come down here, you can select a region. So, for example, if I want North America, I'll select that. If I know the name, I can type it here. If I know the game ID, I can type it right here. And you can choose private and public, or public only, or private only. Um, I recommend leaving this one checked so you don't see any servers that you won't be able to join because of incompatibilities and stuff like that. So, uh, you can also check to make sure to hide the ones that are already in game. And once you are finished uh with your search, hit refresh, and now all you can see all of the North America ones, which all of them are private. But if I do public only, hit refresh, there's only one that is public. And they are playing Mario Party 8. And it looks like they got a full game already, so I wouldn't be able to join even if I wanted to. So yeah, that is how you can play that's how you can play online with other people. Now, if there is a game that you want to play that's not listed here, then that's where the other section will come in handy. Um, where you set up a server. So, say for example, I wanted to play uh, let's say for example, I wanted to play Mario Kart Wii, if I can find it, or Mario Kart Double Dash, or whatever. It don't matter which game. Let's do Mario Kart Wii. So I select that game. And I think, oh, yeah, show and server. Make sure that box is checked. Pick the region. pick the name. I use my Discord server name, for example. Now, if you want a password, put a password. If not, leave it blank. And then you just hit host. You should get a security window. Just hit yes. And then all you gotta do is open up Mario Kart Wii. I think we just open it up. Or do we go and yeah, I think we just open it up since we already set it up. So it's opening up normally just to check. And I don't think it says I'm in the net play section or session. Hold on. So let me try this. Play with net play. Host with net play. The net play session is already in progress. Oh, okay. So yeah, so it is in the net play session. Okay. I thought it was kind of weird that it just let me start one even though I didn't have the game open, but that explains it. And then, oh, okay, so this didn't pop up for me. It popped up, but it didn't pop up in the front. So, after you start a net play session, this window is supposed to pop up, but for me, it popped up behind the uh the emulator. So that was a bit weird. Um, and then what's cool is it has its own little chat system. So I could type in hi, for example, and it'll show it, and everybody else that's in the server will be able to see it. This is useful if you're playing with somebody that's not in the Discord server. Oh, okay. There's something else. Why is this blurred? What the heck? Oh, because that might be the server code. We might get external Ethernet. Okay. Anyway, so there's another step to this that I actually kind of forgot. So we're gonna quit this server real quick. I'm going to exit out of the game. So, in order for in order for other people to play your game, you have to set it up uh as if you were playing locally with them. So you got to go back to your controls, and then you got to select standard controller for all of these for however many you want to play, and then you got to set up. I think you got to set up the controls. Which I have. I forgot I made a profile, so I'm gonna just load that one. So select that, load, and that'll make this process a little bit faster. And we got to do this. We got to do this for all of them. Whoops. One more. Whoops. Okay. So now, since we have all of our controllers set up, this is gonna be kind of weird. But you can also do the Wii controllers like that too. But that one might be a little bit more complicated. So I'm using the GameCube ones for now. So now we can close this out, and then we can run our server again, our NetPlay server. This time I think I'm going to do not Mario Kart, but well, Double Dash. We'll do Double Dash. So we'll do Mario Kart Double Dash. Select that. Password if you want it, and then just hit host. And there we go. This time it popped up in front. Maybe it did last time and I just didn't see it. Or I didn't notice it. So now if you know the person directly and they have a dolphin emulator, you can share this code, which is which is why it was blurred. But um otherwise you just gotta wait a minute, and eventually somebody will join if they want to play. So let me see. Oh, okay. Interesting. So it changes depending on It changes depending on which one you choose. Interesting. So then, after you choose which one you want to go with, then you just go down here, open up the game. After that, it should become active. Oh, there's some other settings up here too. So let's see. Oh, there's a couple of different there's a couple of different options in here that you can mess around with. Okay. So yeah, now our game is active, and let me see. Let's see if I can find it. It might not let me, considering I'm in this I'm hosting a session right now, but let me see. Oh, yep. Found me right away. Only one person's in there, obviously, which is me. And so now anybody can join if they want to. So that's cool. So we're gonna quit this session and stop the game. I need to fix it. I need to fix it anyway where it's not stuttering. So if I do decide to do this one on a online, it'll be running smoothly. So let me just do that real quick. Spoken 1080p. We'll leave that as is. Bilinear. Okay, there we go. And now that it's set up for the next time I decide to play it, either by myself or online. So to recap, because I know this one was a bit just a little bit slow, and I do apologize for that because it's been a minute since I used NetPlay, so I had to remember everything again. But to host a NetPlay, you just go up to Tools, start NetPlay, and then you determine how you want to do it. If you want to do it uh like from point to point, uh I think with this one you have to be on the same network. I believe that's how this one works, but I could be wrong. Um but you want to put it on traversal server if you want to play with people across the internet. Um Enter your username, select the game from your list that you want to play. In this case, Mario Kart Double Dash. Make sure you have show in server browser so your friends can find it easier if they need to. Um, Select the region, put the name of your server, add a password if you need to. Then once everything is set up, you don't need to change these down here, I don't think. So just leave these two alone. And then hit host, and then there you go. Your server is up and running. All you got to do from here is start the game and start playing. You can also change the game if you want before you actually start the game. So let's say you change your mind after you start the server. You can change it up here, which is something that I noticed a little while ago actually. Um, you also got some other settings up here that you can mess around with if you like. Let's see. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure what these are for, but I mean they're there. You also have an option to record inputs. So I guess technically on the basic level, you don't need to worry about these up here. But if you know what you're doing, you can use these options up here. And then obviously when you're done with your session, you can quit. Something that I'm just now seeing is you can assign controller ports. That's actually kind of cool. That is legit kind of cool. So obviously right now it's just me in here, but if you had more people, you would assign the controllers from here. So we're gonna quit this one. And that is it. That is all there is to know about the net play. Um as far as the Wii games, I will have to test this part out. But as far as the Wii games go, I do believe you can actually play online if you set it up correctly without NetPlay. But I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on that one, so don't hold me to that one, because I will do some research on that to find out before I say for sure that is the case. But yeah, that is how you set up NetPlay. Okay, so time for something that you really don't need to use, but you can use if you wanted to, for whatever reason. I'm going to show you how you can use the firmware on here. The first one is going to be the Wii, because the GameCube side is a little bit more involved. So this is actually fairly easy. You don't even have to leave the emulator to set this up. So basically, you go to Tools, scroll all the way down until you get to the Wii section, and let's see, what is it? Oh, here we go. Perform performs online system update. So if you click that, make sure you, oh my gosh, make sure you click the region that applies to you. So in my case, I'm going to the United States. One reason, one reason you might want to do this is because of maybe you want to use some digital Wii games. Granted, if you put the digital Wii games in a folder like you would your GameCube and Wii games, normally it'll show up. But if you want to, make it more authentic, you might want to do this so you can actually access it. So it's gonna give you this pop up asking you to connect to the internet. You're gonna hit yes, and then it'll download everything it needs. It shouldn't take that long. And then when it's done, you'll get this pop up. Just hit OK, and then go back to Tools, and you'll see a new option available, which is Load Wii System Menu version uh 1.3U, which is the U is basically the region that we downloaded, which is United States. So if you click that, here you go. Now you got yourself an actual Wii, and you can actually set this up uh as if it was a brand new console and everything. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna go through this whole process right now. I would do that off camera. But once you got it set up, then you will have yourself literally a functioning Wii. And that, in my opinion, is pretty awesome. Because what this does also, this is another reason why you might want to do this. is it gives you access to the Me Maker, which you can then use to make your own personal Wii, or I said Wii, your own personal Me and everything instead of using the stock Miis that it has. So yeah, just thought I would show that off with you guys. The other one, which is the GameCube one, is a little bit more involved. Just a little bit. So basically, I don't actually have the files, but I can show you the process. So basically, what you would do, you go to tools, and if you click on where it says load GameCube uh main menu, you'll notice that everything is grayed out. And that is because it cannot find the files that it needs. So what you have to do is you have to close Dolphin. I think I clicked it. Did I? Nope, I did not click the X. Okay, there we go. So you have to close Dolphin and you go into I think it's under system. No, it's not that one. Although this is going to come in handy later. Let's see, user, GameCube. Okay, yeah. So it will be in here, I believe. I think this is the. I wonder if this is for the GameCube. The memory card, maybe. I'm gonna have to verify that. Also, I noticed there's two. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm actually glad I looked in that folder because I was going to tell you a bit of an outdated method on how to add texture packs. So what is this one for? Graphics mods as well. Okay. There is a. Hmm. Ooh. I wonder, can you add more themes to this? That'd be kind of cool if you can. Okay, so I think it's this one that you have to put the files in. No, because this one has card A in it. Okay, so
I
I'm
was
going to
kind
have
of
to do a refresher for myself,
remembering it correctly.
so you do go to user, GC, and then select the region, and then put the file in there, which I went ahead and did it. And then you open up the GameCube or the Dolphin emulator. and then you go to Tools, go here, and if the correct region is selected, you should be able to see it right here. Now, you will get this pop-up. You will get this pop-up sometimes, but just hit ignore. And there you go. Now, we are in the GameCube BIOS. Pretty straightforward. No setup required as far as like getting to this point, but um in other words, it's not like the Wii where you gotta select the language and stuff like that. But you do got to source the files yourself. So I will tell you that much. You do gotta source it yourself. And I don't remember how to do it, but I think you can make it where it'll like do the whole GameCube intro every time you boot up a GameCube game. But if that little warning pops up every time, I can see that getting a little annoying. So yeah, that is pretty much how you access the firmware for both the GameCube and the Wii. Pretty simple, straightforward, not complicated at all. Bonus content. So if you want to disable the warning for that every time, uh, when you open up the BIOS for the GameCube specifically, go to config, interface, and then what is it? You disable this. Use panic handler. So uncheck that, and then close it, and then we'll open up the BIOS again. And now, there you go. No more warning. And so now, what you can do is you can go in here, go back to config, go to GameCube, uncheck this, and then there you go. Now, we can close this out, run a GameCube game, and there you go. Oh, that just brings back so many memories seeing that. Not gonna lie. Oh my gosh, that's gonna bring back so many memories. And then the method to get to the BIOS should work as well. So if I double click this, hold the A button. Yes, that works as well. And then if you go up, you'll see that it's quote unquote in a disk drive. That is so freaking cool. Oh man, I love that so much. So much. Such a nostalgic sound. You guys have no idea. Anywho, I just thought I'd add that in there. Okay, so you've been enjoying Dolphin for a minute now, right? If you're following along, you're still waiting for the particular part that you may be looking for. But let's say for now, you've been enjoying the games and you've been having fun, and you decide that you want to make the games look a little bit better. Now, changing the resolution works wonders. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that right now. But some games just have kind of really bad textures. One such game, and it's not that the textures are bad per se, it's just they're a little bit messy. One game in particular that's like that is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. That game, the textures look pretty blurry. Some of them kind of blend together a little bit, but fear not, there is a texture pack that basically makes the game look a lot sharper and cleans up a lot of the textures. So, where do we find said texture packs? Well, remember when I showed you how to get to the wiki page of each game, specifically using Crash Tag Team Racing? Well, you're gonna use that same method here. So just right click the game that you want the texture packs for. Go to wiki.
My eyes! My eyes!
Go to wiki. And then scroll down until you get to the table of contents. And somewhere in this list, you will find texture packs right here. HD texture packs. So you click on that, and then there should be a blue link here somewhere. There it is. So you click on this, and it'll take you to a Dolphin forum page where you can actually download the texture pack from. So there are a couple of different versions to choose from. You got the DDS resource pack, which is labeled as recommended. Uh, you got the PNG Legacy Pack, which is they mark for developers, and then you got optional textures. I don't know what these optional textures entail, but let me see. Because sometimes it'll give information about it. Which in this case they do not. Yeah, in this case they do not show what the optional textures entail. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna focus on the main texture pack. Oh, and because I almost forgot, keep in mind these texture packs can vary in size depending on the game. So a game like this, the texture pack shouldn't be that big. But there has been texture packs that I've downloaded in the past that were a lot bigger than I thought they should have been. But on the other hand, you kind of have to look at the game too and look at how many textures that game may have. So I'm going to click here, download the texture pack, and we're going to download all of our textures. We're going to make a new folder, and I'm going to just call it textures. And this is where all of our texture packs are going to go for now, before they are moved. Depending on the size of the texture pack, I do recommend just moving it instead of copying it, because then that's just going to multiply the size. So um, just, just a little suggestion. Me, typically, I like to make backups in case something goes wrong, but in this particular case, um, we're going to just move them over. All right, so we got that texture pack downloaded. So we're gonna close Dolphin, and we're gonna go. I think it's under users, if I remember correctly, and we're gonna go to load, and you're gonna have to place it depending on the what the texture pack is. So I think this one would go under resource packs, honestly. but I could be wrong. It might actually still go under textures. So we're gonna try that first. So we're gonna open up our texture file, our texture folder. We're gonna open it in a new tab if it'll let me. There we go. Okay, so we got that in a new tab, so we can backtrack now. And here is our folder. And look, okay, so this one, it's still compressed, so it's not as bad, but it where the size really shines is when you extract it. This one in particular, I think is okay. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Need to check. Okay, so this one does not have a subfolder. So we're gonna extract it. And then if we look at the extracted file, that jumped all the way up to 2.49 gigabytes. And this is the reason why we are just going to move everything. So let's see, this one is the logo, or the icon rather. Um, might find a use for that later. Okay, so how this is gonna work, okay. So you see this little abbreviation here? This is the game's code. So okay, you know what? Hold on. We're gonna open up Dolphin as a new tab. There we go. I'm gonna move them around like that. Okay. So let me explain how this works. So you have all of these different games, and all of them have a sort of ID. So we're gonna find Thousand Year Door, right click, go to properties, and somewhere in here where it's its game ID. Oh, here it is, right here. So the file that we downloaded is using the first three uh characters in the game, or in the ID. So uh now what we're gonna do is go in here and we can actually copy this texture folder, because it'll like merge. So we're gonna copy this. Oh, actually, no, we're just gonna cut it. Sorry, I was about to go back to how I was doing it. Oh, you know what? No, no, no. Never mind, because I forgot I went inside of the folder. So we're gonna cut this one. And then we're just gonna place it in here. Now, normally, if I wasn't in this folder already, you could just copy the entire folder, the entire texture folder, and then put it on top, and it'll fuse. So the contents of the one that you're trying to move over would fuse into the one that already exists, which kind of makes things a little bit convenient. And so now, if you didn't do it when I did it earlier, at this point, what you would have to do is you would have to uh, go into graphics, go to advanced, and then check this box that says load custom textures. Make sure that's checked. And then when you load the game, it should load the custom textures. So we're gonna launch the game. Like so. I love this game. This game is a really fun game. And immediately you're gonna notice that everything is gonna look sharper than it should. Yeah. So just looking at the title screen, everything is a lot sharper. Now, let me close this. Let me close this real quick. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and we're gonna disable custom textures. Okay. So we're gonna disable those. And then we're gonna go back in. I love that so much. I can never get tired of that. Okay. So already you should already start to see the difference. Yeah, there's a definite difference in the texture quality. So now if I go into the game, I'll show you one detail that you probably wouldn't notice unless you was paying attention to it. And it's something you can actually see on Mario himself. Okay, I'm gonna just do that. Oops. There we go. 'cause I'm not gonna keep that file. Pretty soon we should see Mario here shortly. There he is. No, that's Luigi. But you should see it on him too. But the camera is too far zoomed out, so it really wouldn't matter. There it is. Okay. So, first off, Mario is a little bit blurry. So is Luigi. But you can barely see the button detail on there, right? So, we're going to close this again. I'm going to apply the texture, the custom texture, but I'm also going to make it where it'll skip the I'm going to make it where it'll skip the GameCube intro this time, just to make it a little bit faster. I'll turn it back on my own time. And then we will go in here, turn this back on, and then we will run the game again. I could have put a save state right there. Now that I think about it, I would have to turn off retro achievements though. And like, yeah, you could see a difference. Like Mario's skin was a little bit darker before I applied the texture pack. Also, if you haven't played the Switch version of this game, I highly recommend it. It looks really good. Okay, can't really see much here because it's too zoomed out. But look at that. Now, it's still going to look a little bit pixelated because of the resolution that this game is on, but it looks so much better than it did. So, yeah, custom textures can be used to greatly improve the way a game looks if raising the resolution isn't enough. And that's pretty much it. That is pretty much how you add texture packs to the game. Now, texture packs are easy enough to add, but the one thing I have not quite figured out how to add is mods, specifically graphics mods. I haven't figured out how to add those. I haven't really found any graphics mods But then you also have like your typical normal mods, uh that you would see in like something like Super Smash Bros, Mario Kart, and stuff like that. I don't know how to add those. But yeah, that is it. That is it for the tutorial. I said the tutorial. The custom textures. Just make sure that you check that little box in the advanced section of the graphics tab, and you're pretty much off to the races.